All right, so today's date is, I believe, June 25th, 2025. And my accident that caused my concussion happened on June 23rd of 2024. So I thought that I would do a 1 year update. Um, I guess it was mainly inspired because it's been a year, but then also I woke up this morning feeling very sleepy. And I was like, man, why am I so sleepy? And I've got just like a headache that is like, it's so minimal. It's like a 0.3 on a scale of 1 to 10. So small. And I had just the tiniest bit of light sensitivity when I woke up this morning. And so um, I guess it was just a reminder because I was like, it's been over a year. And yeah, I can still have symptoms. And it's always this weird mixture when I have symptoms, especially after getting back from cognitive FX. Like, I mean, 99% of my life is symptom free now, and it's so good, it's surreal. And then on days when I wake up with just the tiniest bit of symptoms, I'm just like, oh no, it's coming back. Even though it's never come back like that, like the way it was before I went to cognitive FX. And I was like, why do I feel so tired this morning? Um, and I realized yesterday I sat in a coffee shop and I talked to a buddy of mine for like 2 hours straight. And behind him, there were like these, the lighting in this place, they have like these long strands hanging down from the ceiling, and then these raw exposed bulbs. Um, I think it's like the tungsten glowing filament in it. And so there was like 30 of those behind my friend's head. And I commented a number of times, I was just like, wow, mostly I don't have light sensitivity, but those lights are getting to me big time. And I just went ahead and I sat there because I could. Like, it wasn't like it caused me so much pain that I had to put on sunglasses. And also, I kind of enjoyed the fact that I could note that it wasn't great for me, but also that my brain could kind of filter it out and not like get super symptomatic. But then as I was trying to like get motivated this morning to like just do normal stuff, like start work, bike to my favorite coffee shop and work, I was like, man, I haven't felt like this in a while. And I was like, this is how I used to feel after exposure to light. Um, like back before cognitive FX, like 10 minutes of exposure to lights like that would be enough to have me be in bed for most of the next day. Um, and so in this case, yeah, like I feel like going right back to sleep, but I'm gonna stay up through it and get into my workday here a little bit. But I just thought, this is a good real moment to talk about just where I'm at in a year. So where I'm at, besides this morning, and I'll admit, like moments like this definitely make you feel or make me feel way different because all of a sudden you feel that vulnerability where you're just like, oh no. Like, I guess it's just repeat of what I already said, but I do feel when I have even the slightest symptoms, you just really worry a lot that it's all going to come back. But like, I know I'm okay, but this is just interesting making this video not in like a super shiny high moment, but like in a more real, like sometimes things sometimes things can still be worrisome moment. Um, so like today, what'll predictably happen is I'll just get up, I'll start my day. I'll probably do some of the routine that I learned at Cognitive FX, where I'll do a series of exercises that sort of like just calm things down. And then I'll get on with my day and I'll probably just be completely fine. Um, but I guess what we're talking about sort of still some challenges that I face, which are so minimal. Like, I hate to lead with this, but I'll just mention the other one up front is after Cognitive FX got rid of 99% of my symptoms. The other thing that can make me symptomatic, and I'm pretty sure the only reason those lights actually got to me yesterday, is because of one thing, and that is sleep. I do not have a difficult time falling asleep. I have a difficult time just deciding, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now. I suck at that. I suck so bad. And especially because I'm like firing on all cylinders, I'm doing so many different creative things. I'm working like 30 hours a week at my new job. I've launched a podcast um, that's also a video. It's in video format and podcast format. Um, I'm planning a trip to go see my dad in Virginia. Like, I'm exercising fairly intensely every single day. Um, and I'm just like going out and doing things. I'm so active. And it's so exciting to be able to do all these things that I kind of just don't want to go to sleep at night. I'm just like, I got things to do. So, and then even besides that, it's, I've just always had terrible sleep hygiene. I've always been a late night owl, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., totally my normal. And I've noticed since I got back from Cognitive FX that if I don't have like 2 or 3 good nights sleep in a row, then I can get a little headachy, where I used to never do that before the concussion. And then that leads to a little bit of light sensitivity starting to creep in. So, I'm trying to get better about it, but it is difficult to reverse like a lifetime habit. I've been sleeping like this. I've been not sleeping like this really since I was like 13 or 14 years old. It's just a lifestyle. And then it's just exacerbated because I'm so excited to have a working brain again. But like realistically, I would say at least at my age, at 53, and with my concussion recovery protocol, I should be disciplined and be going to sleep at like 10:30. All you 20-year-olds just laughed at me. I get it. But like 10:30, I feel like that's the ideal time. And then getting up at like 7 in the morning would probably that's the sweet spot I'm trying to get to. But normally, since I'm still going to bed at like 12:30, 1 a.m. and getting up at 7 or 8, that difference really is a difference. And I'm definitely constantly learning. It doesn't matter how much I sleep. It matters when I go to sleep and when I wake up. The same 6 to 7 hours isn't the same, like, you know what I mean? Like 12 to 7 isn't the same as 11 to 6. Like, it just really matters when you go to sleep, not just that you sleep a certain number of hours is what I'm trying to say. So I'm really kind of still paying the price for that. But at the same time, again, before the concussion, I operated fine. I could go on 6 hours of sleep a night. I could stay up till 2 a.m., get up at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. So I'd get my 6 hours and I would still live a fully functional life, firing on all cylinders. And now, post-concussion and even after the treatment at Cognitive FX, it's just different now. Like I have to maintain, I have to make accommodations and I have to do things differently. So I don't know, like I guess it's one of those things. I'm feeling a little somber about this because I like having a life sort of without physical limitations. And I'm just like, well, this might be a speed limit for me, like for the rest of my life now, where I just always have to be careful about how much I sleep, or I can start getting kind of symptomatic again. Oh, that is another thing. I also notice when I don't sleep right that one of the ways I know that I'm definitely not sleeping well is I start to get pretty forgetful. Like I'll start just forgetting really easy things. And then I'll test it and then I'll like sleep good for 3 nights in a row and I'm 100% not forgetting anything. So examples would just be like sentence structure isn't an issue, name recall, what I'm doing isn't an issue, but like I find that I just forget things like where I just put my keys, where I just put my glasses case. I'll leave the house without something that I was sure that I had already put in the car. Things like that. I'll start to forget things, objects. That's when I know. And then I'll be like, well, when did I go to sleep last night? When did I wake up? What about the night before that? So it's been rare that I've slept well, intelligently, for more than 3 nights in a row, and then I kind of muck it up for the next 4 nights. So I really need to fix that. And it's just really surprising to me and sort of impressive how much proper networking in my brain relies on healthy sleep patterns. So I kind of can't stress that enough. Yeah. So, just trying to think if there's any other symptom stuff I should mention. Oh, yeah, one other big thing, and this isn't necessarily related to the concussion. Well, I guess it is. It's more related to the car accident. But like, I'm sure for a lot of you out there who have suffered a concussion, if you think about the moment when it happened, obviously for all of us, it was an impact, right? You either slipped and hit your head on something, or something hit you when you didn't think it would, or like a car hit your car. But for all of us, it was a sudden, just like, boom, and then everything was different after that. So for me, if you haven't watched the other episodes, it was the car accident. Me sitting at an intersection, foot on the brake, minding my own business, waiting for the intersection to clear, and then here comes a car, never touched their brake, hit me going about 35. And so something that has been really interesting lately, I mean, it's always been there since the accident happened and since I started driving again, because I did take like 4 or 5 weeks I did not drive at all because my reaction time was so slow. I shouldn't have been driving. So I noted after I started driving again that whenever I looked in the rearview mirror and I see a car coming up behind me, or even when I'm just sitting at a stoplight and there's already cars sitting still behind me, I've noticed over the last year that my anxiety has increased over the course of the last year. And it's pretty wild. And I've also considered like going to therapy for it, because I definitely feel like it's a PTSD reaction. Like, I don't do heart rate monitors. I don't do any of that stuff. You know, the way people wear like Fitbits and all sorts of stuff to monitor their heart rate. I'm not into that scene at all. But the other day I was thinking, man, if I was wearing one of those, it would be fascinating to see like the chart at the end of the day. And I'll bet every time my heart rate increased, if I looked at the chart, that would let me know that's when I was at an intersection. That's when I was at a stop sign. Because yeah, it's like, as soon as I get to a stop sign, the first thing I do is I look in the rearview mirror and I'm just like, is there a car coming? Is their foot on the brake? Are they slowing down? And I just have the feeling like if they don't stop, I'm going to be back to zero and I'm going to have to go through all this all over again. And it's just been interesting that fear has been increasing over time instead of decreasing over time. That is not fun. And that is obviously not something Cognitive FX can fix. I just try to do a lot of deep breathing. I try to like consciously relax my body, relax my grip on the steering wheel. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. So yeah, I might eventually get some therapy for that. Because that's not fun. Let's see. I think that's about all the like sort of heavier things. Other than that though, like, things are going so well. It's crazy. Like I said, I've got the energy now to where I launched a podcast. It's not about a concussion. It's about my time as a caregiver. Back in 2019 to 2020, I was a caregiver, full-time living caregiver for my mom when she was dying from dementia and a cancer. And ironically, my condition after the brain injury gave me a lot of understanding about how the unnetworked brain works and responds to reality. And so it's given me a lot more insight into how a dementia person's brain is also unnetworked and fragmented, and how it functions very much the same way. You know, the symptoms, there's so many similar symptoms. I won't go too far into that, but you should listen to it, I think. There's only 2 episodes out so far, but I'm releasing episodes every Friday. It's called Us at Our Worst. I'll put a link in the description here for the YouTube video. But anyway, and I'm releasing it as a YouTube format where it's actually a video of me talking and reading from my journal entries. So I'm reading the unpublished manuscript of the book, and then I offer a lot of contextual sidebar commentary. So I'll be doing. So I launched that, and then I release it in 2 different formats. And then I've got a job. It's a very flexible job, so I kind of I don't literally set my own hours, but it's one of those jobs that are just there's just a lot of freedom. I'll just say it's a great job. But so I'm a marketing person. I'm like the marketing person at this company. And so, I would say my hours realistically range somewhere between 20 and 40 a week. I don't think I've done more than 35 yet. But last week was 33 hours. So I'm working, I would say, almost full time, right? Doing that. I'm juggling doing a podcast every week. I've got travel plans to go visit my dad for about 5 days coming up next week. I had also signed up for a death doula training and certification class that was just canceled by the teacher who got COVID, but I was going to do that as well. Those were going to be 3 9-hour days in a row. And I was just easy, no problem. I've been doing tons of kettlebell workouts, yoga regularly, going to the gym, working with the weight sled, playing solo racquetball until I'm breathing so hard I can't stand anymore. Riding my bike a ton. I cannot express how much fun that is, riding my bike. Oh my God. And again, if this is your first video, you'll learn, if you had seen the other videos, that I couldn't ride my bike pretty much the entire time after my concussion up until I got back from Cognitive FX. And I love my bike. I love riding my bike, the freedom, the breeze. I go out just riding for fun, not even to go anywhere specific, though I do bike commute a lot. Just being on the bike is so much fun for me. I've been on it so much, I actually just went to the bike shop yesterday because I've worn the tires down so far. They're so thin. I just put a lot of miles on them. And sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes I ride all the way out to the office instead of taking my car there, even though I can telecommute. Sometimes it's good to be in the office and be around coworkers. And that's a 5.3 mile ride one way. So, 10.6 miles it's not even anything. But I will say that is one of the other things that does make me slightly symptomatic. When I ride long distances on my bike, or when I do a really intense heavy sled workout, and for those of you who don't know, imagine that this is a small metal sled that's resting on the floor of a gym, and it's got these posts on it, these metal posts. And so you load it up with weight plates, and then you push it across the floor, or you put a rope on it, and then you pull the rope and you pull it across the floor. That's a weight sled. So I'm usually pushing 120 pounds, or I'm pulling 120 pounds, and I usually do it for 30 minutes straight. And I don't like to take breaks. So that's really fun for me. But what's interesting is I have almost an exact 48-hour delayed reaction to that. So if I do more than 7 or 8 miles on my bike in a stretch in a day, or I do a heavy sled workout, I already know 2 days later I'm going to have a slight headache. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why the reaction is delayed by 2 days. I just know that I still get symptoms from really heavy workouts. It's not enough to stop me from living my life. It doesn't slow me down, but it's still there, it's still there. Maybe these things will go away with time, or maybe they'll be there for the rest of my life. I don't know. But still, it's such a huge improvement over what my life was like before Cognitive FX. Yeah, so let's see. I also started open water swimming again. So the other day I swam 1 kilometer and in a lake, and I definitely felt a little bit of that like 2 days later, but it wasn't bad. I think that's like really everything. Yeah. So yeah, like I wanted to make this video when I was like way more upbeat and like 0 symptom day or something, but I just decided to be more realistic. Just trying to think if there's anything else I should cover. Yeah, I'm just a little bit subdued because I've got a little bit of I guess it's more like a 1 now. A little bit more of a 1 headache here going. But yeah, I'll probably avoid that one coffee shop. Yeah. I will just actually say one other thing is they're my beloved Trader Joe's. So Trader Joe's was like my main money making job that I had before I got before I had to leave there due to concussion symptoms. I started working there after my concussion when I was like in this phase when I was like doing really well and I thought I was really moving past things. But then I got much more symptomatic during that phase and I had to like quit all work eventually. But I will say that similar to that coffee shop the other day with the lights, that Trader Joe's, at least the one here, is so well lit, so intensely lit. Like when I go in there, I can literally see how blue the lighting is. It's like I see a blue haze over everything. It is so intense there. And so I only shop there like once every month and a half now. I just avoid the place because even though I really like the crew there and it's such a cool vibe and it's great prices, I just don't go there because if I'm in there for more than 20 minutes, I can feel the symptoms start coming on. Like my eyes start hurting. I get the headache. Yeah, so even when I'm at my best, if I go into Trader Joe's, I will start to feel symptomatic. It's pretty wild. There's just no place that I've ever been in. There's no place in town that I've been in that is as brightly lit as our Trader Joe's in Coralville, Iowa. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's everything. And I always say that right before I say one more thing. So the one more thing I'll say is like, in terms of how my day's gonna go different though, since I'm sitting here and I'm noticing that I'm feeling a little light sensitive to the sunlight, I'm like, you know what? Why not just kind of lay low today? So I'll probably just work from my little desk right here today and just take it easy. I'll probably take a nap in the middle of the day for like 20-30 minutes, finish out my work day. And yeah, and then tonight I was thinking I might go see a movie. I'll probably go to the gym. And so my day will be like mostly normal, but I'll just dial it back a little bit in terms of intensity. I'm not gonna get on my bike and commute right now, even for a mile or two to my favorite coffee shop, just because if I'm already having a headache, why push it, because it's so rare. I don't mind taking a day off. I don't feel like that's going to set me back in life. But anyway, I guess this will be the truly one last thing I'll say, because where are we at now? Wow, I have no way I've been talking for 25 minutes. Oh my God. Is just, just a big hats off to Cognitive FX. That place just totally changed my life in such a huge way. It almost seems like fiction how much my life changed after going to that place. And there's just not enough words to describe how much it means to me that I was able to go there and how much they helped me, and just how brilliant they are at what they do. I would just really encourage anyone to reach out to them if you're still having concussion symptoms, long after your accident, long after you say you should have recovered. If you've got the deep down feeling that even though you're seeing an occupational therapist or your local expert, if you're not seeing dramatic improvements after a month with that local expert, don't waste your time. Go to Cognitive FX. And yes, there is a money barrier there, but I would still reach out to them. I would still do the free interview, like take the online test first, and then if you pass that phase, then do the online interview, because even that can be really informative. Yeah, it's a big deal to go out there. All right, I'm going to stop it here for real. If you watch this long, congratulations. You have a good amount of patience. All right, that's it.